I am Olivier Haligon.
Hi, and I'm Caroline Haligon, and we are
Haligon Fine Art. So I moved from Paris to Miami in 1998. So it makes 23 years I'm living in Miami and working in this studio.
And I've been working with my father since 2010. I've been here full time, so now 11 years, and we specialize in making sculpture. This is a family tradition for 5 generations. We go back to my great-great-great-grandfather, who invented, with the help of different engineers, the pantograph, which is a machine which is like the ancestor of the 3D. And Olivier is going to explain to you how it works.
Okay, so this is a machine my great-grandfather built around 1900, so meaning it's a machine which is 120 years old, which I think is the first time you can see that. So this machine makes 3D enlargements. So from a model, that's the model, I can make exactly the same volume bigger. And I can adjust the ratio of enlargement from the position of this triangle with this triangle. So here, this triangle is at 1/4 of that one, so I enlarge 4 times, linear, 4 times linear. You see, by volume is 4 by 4 by 4, so 64 times volumic. So from a small art like that, I'm going to create a much bigger art. And to do so, you see, this machine can move all the way, and I follow line by line, like a 3D printer. And I create, this is a tool, so this tool follows the surface, and the other tool cut the styrofoam. So I'm going to describe all the surface to make all the arts. And you see, I'm turning the machine to be always about 90 degrees to the surface, and we're not going to make it all the way because it's going to take about 2 hours to make the whole piece, but that gives you a good idea of how the pantograph is working. This machine, the pantograph, has been invented by Colas in the years 1830. But this pantograph has been built. It was the most sophisticated one ever done, and is still in use. Of course, in 1900, you don't have styrofoam, so we were making enlargements in plaster, soft plaster, or clay. But my father adapted this pantograph in the 1960s to enlarge in styrofoam. And we did a lot of huge sculptures all over the world for the most famous artists like Dubuffet, César, Miro, Giacometti, and Niki de Saint-Phal, Raymond Mason. So you see, we are going to stop here, I think, because you understood how it works, but you can already see the volume of the art enlarged. And of course, if we have bigger pieces, we cut the model in several pieces, and after we remount the enlargement. So we don't have any limit of size for enlarging.
Welcome again in the studio. Today we are with the edition of the Statue of Liberty, the small edition in 22 inches, and then the big head in 7 feet. So why are we connected to the Statue of Liberty? Because my great-great-grandfather, Louis Haligon, used the pantograph that you saw Olivier explaining and showing you how it works to enlarge the Statue of Liberty of this size to the gigantic one that is in New York. So this edition is a reproduction of an edition that made Bartholdi in terracotta at the time to give to the sponsors and the people who helped in the process. And we have one. We made a mold, and then we made an edition. And also, we do have this gigantic head that has a very special story, and Olivier is going to tell you about it.
So this head is the head of the Statue of Liberty, which is in Paris, on a small island in the middle of the River Seine, just nearby the Eiffel Tower. The full size of this Statue of Liberty is 12 meter high, which is about 40 feet. 40 feet high, which is 1/4 of the Statue of Liberty in New York. The Statue of Liberty in Paris has been a gift from the United States to France to commemorate the fact that France gave the Statue of Liberty in New York to the American country. The thing is, I think it was in 1988, you had a big cultural exchange between Japan and France. And France wanted to lend the statue in Paris to be installed in Tokyo for 1 year. But it was quite damaged on the top of the head. So the Ministry of the Culture asked me to mold the head, just the head, because the rest was quite easy to fix, but the head, that way a very specialized company of Compagnons du Tour de France will be able to restore and refabricate some missing parts or two damaged parts on the top of the head. So they asked me to mold it. The only thing, it was in October, I had to make it. And as you might know, in October is not the best weather in Paris. So I was on a scaffold with my helpers, between 15 and 20 meters high, to mold with the rain or the cold water on the slippery wood from the scaffolds to make a silicone mold outside like that. It was crazy. So I said, okay, I make it, but I want to have one cast for me to remember all those bad times. And they agreed. The Ministry of Culture agreed. So I did a cast for me, and because Bartholdi now is in the public domain, you are allowed to make reproductions, the sculptures of Bartholdi, unless you write clearly that it's a reproduction. It's a recent cast.
So now we have the mold. He came all the way from France when my father moved in 1998, and we have 2 casts that we have done, and we have been lending it for events, and we are trying also, it's available for sale. If people want to have them, we're more than happy to do that for them. And we also built that super cool pedestal to imitate the original pedestal from New York. And for us, it's not only special because our family is connected to the Statue of Liberty. So obviously, in the US, it's a big monument, and when you tell that to people, you usually get a wow effect. But also for me, it was always a sign of peace, in a way, of hope. I really like her face. The fact that we can see her so close, you can really realize that her face is very androgynous. Like everybody can identify with her, and that was, I think, the point of this sculpture, is that to welcome all the immigrants to the U.S. In a way of hope and the land of the free, like they say. So that's my take on the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, on my side there is a detail. I think not that many people know. Statue of Liberty represent the freedom for all those immigrants who were coming from Europe. And suddenly they were free. They were free of land, they were free of living, because it was a difficult government in Europe. And the thing is, the Statue of Liberty, she had some chains here, and she broke her chains, and that's why she's liberated.
Thank you so much for being here today and for enjoying a little piece of history with us.
Thank you.